Autobiography exercise, simultaneous zoom in / zoom out on a moment, written 28 May 2024. So today is Tuesday, 28 May 2024. I am Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers of Seattle, and I'm doing my exercise. We do a simultaneous zoom in / zoom out on a moment. As kind of a type of memory for me is that I had a head injury in the past and stuff, and this one that I'm highlighting today sometimes at the time of living things, I actually think about things and internalize them as zoom in, zoom out. So there's a collection of moments. This can be applied and contextualized for kind of any memory. This particular pick is thought at the time in both zoom in and zoom out. And so what I chose today is what I'm going to read is an autobiographical passage, meaning I wrote it about myself, or something that I've been through, written about oneself. So it's an autobiographical passage covering a Werner Heisenberg moment in my life, corresponding to going to a certain library in the 2018 to 2019 academic year. I handwrote it today, Tuesday, 28 May 2024. For the writing exercise, I assigned myself elements to one side of a blank 8.5 by 11 inch piece of paper. There was a little blank space at the bottom. And so that is my introduction. Here we go. Autobiography exercise, simultaneous zoom in / zoom out on a moment, written 28 May 2024 by Tanis Coralee Leonhardi. Writing started 6:44 a.m. Seattle time zone. I walked with my chin slightly tilted down, so the floor ahead of and under my feet was more in my central field of view. Lifting my feet maybe an inch above the ground for each stride, I continued my walking gait like I had for over a decade since I started running with myself as my coach. Lift my feet too high, and my legs would get too tired for my workouts. Looking down is a safety measure I take. If the floor is uneven, then I trip and might fall. So for me, looking down means less likely to get hurt, especially in the case I do fall, as I can see where to catch my fall. Thinking from experience. The entrance to the library is not so obvious as the one closer to my office. I enter the library and make myself mentally pause. Who am I, and where am I, and what year is it? My memory has been a little off since I fell and hit the back of my head on tile a few years earlier. For whatever reason, my thought processes, in addition to my long-term memory, are still affected. Where am I? I am putting my library card in my wallet as I slow my walking in a library on a university campus where the free speech movement was founded in the United States of America, State, California. I am Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers, and it is the 2018 to 2019 academic year. The area looks like something from the 1940s, and I scan from left to right looking for books. Spotting stairs in the wall, I decide to check that out. Work my way from up to down in my attempt to find hard copy books. Climbing the stairs, I do not rush, using my 1 mile road run strong stride gait. Maybe the runners from the 1940s walked like this too. Maybe I run like them. Wouldn't that be cool? Head not tilted up from slightly down still, I reached the top of the stairs and noticed rows of books. One and only one book caught my attention. Closer to waist height than shoulder height, I walked over and pulled it off the shelf. The name, the author, Werner Heisenberg. Gradually, I opened the front cover, proceeding to read some of the book's innards. I looked up and sighed, letting my shoulders fall. I closed the front cover of the book. Gently, I put the book back on the shelf in the spot I had pulled it from. Touching the binding of the book and the ones to each side of it, I made sure it was just so on the shelf. I turned around. Now that I have Werner Heisenberg, where are the shockwave physics books? So it's in passage and construction note, which is part of the writing. The above passage took place over a time span of approximately 3.00 minutes. Emotions felt pure 100% anger. Writing ended 7:03 a.m. Seattle time zone. Total time 19 minutes. Okay. In conclusion, I can't edit it. That's right. In conclusion, all right, once it's written, it's written. In reading it, I stumbled more in reading. The errors I made in when I read it were not actually on the page. This is probably the best in terms of no punctuation and no spelling, or like the typographical errors are much less, even though I, when reading, had more. This was a time in my life where I actually did, when I was thinking about things and I arrived at a place because my memory was so off and I was having such hard time with like what year is it and stuff like that. I actually did think of I am Tanis Coralee Leonhardi, she, her, hers, like in my mind. So this is actually representative of what was going through my mind at the time. And it was one of those, I actually kind of did, it was a period where I actually did kind of emotional blocking exercises. Not like blocking emotions out, but seeing if I could block an emotion that I was feeling to just one emotion. And this is one where I got pure anger. And I just remember it was the moment of my life where I was like, I can say I'm inspired. Or I love Werner Heisenberg and his work and stuff. And I just like to have that happen. Where it's like the moment where I found a home in physics in a person. And a dead person. Kind of like I've found a home in running now with dead runners. Right, so it was a very, very meaningful moment, and it was a very, very, there was a lot of anger, and I did pretty good of getting this all down. Yeah. So, but yeah, there we go. Is there anything else? Yeah. No, I don't get to edit this after it's done. So I did catch some of my spelling and punctuation errors as I went this time. I think it's enlightening in the sense of this took place over 3.00 minutes approximately, but it took me 19 minutes to write this. So I was not... There's something called real time, and that means things play out at the same time scale at which they happen, kind of thing. And like it happens at the same pace. And this took much longer. That's over 6 times longer than it actually took me to live it and think it. So there we go. That's my autobiography exercise, simultaneous zoom in, zoom / zoom out on a moment, written 28 May 2024.